Yeah.
That was, oh, okay. And we're live, and I certainly hope we truly are live and that people out there can see us. Because the last time the three of us got together, we had a really hard time. And I'm here in Albuquerque, we're having storms, and so I'm crossing my fingers that this internet connection is going to hold up. So welcome everyone. It's been a long time since our last hangout. I think it's been 6 months since we attempted this the last time. And my name is Kelly Shaw, and I'm the Marshal of Ladies Dream Golf. And I have with me tonight two very special guests. I first have Brittany Benvenuto in the pink, and she's coming to us live from, are you in Tucson or are you in Phoenix?
I'm in Tucson right now.
You're in Tucson, okay. And I'm in Albuquerque, and then on the far other side of the country, we have Sandy Angulo, who is in Florida, right?
Yes.
So we're representing 3 time zones, the three of us, and then Daryl can kind of round out the 4 time zones because he's in Central, and he and I have been going back and forth about what time this hangout was going to be. And I think he's actually been tuned in since about 8 o'clock this morning. Because he wanted to make sure he didn't miss it. So I hope he. So anyway, I just thought it would be a great time to get together. The LPGA is taking about a 4-week break. The Symetra Tour is taking about a 1-week break. And so it was kind of a good time for us all to get together. And so what I'd like to kind of start off by doing is just catching up with Brittany and Sandy and finding out what they've been up to and how their Symetra Tour season has been going so far. And I have some really specific questions for you guys. But let me just give you each a chance to just kind of get us caught up and let us know what's going on. And so, Sandy, maybe we'll start with you. Sandy joined Ladies Dream Golf as our associate pro way back in January, but we never really got a chance to introduce her to the community. And she's such a nice person, and I know everyone is going to really enjoy getting to know you, Sandy. So why don't you kind of give us a little intro and let us know how your season is going so far.
Well, thank you for the nice introduction. I'm originally from Mexico. I was born in a town called Torreon, Coahuila, which is in the north. And I started playing golf when I was 9 years old. Then I played junior golf in Mexico until I was 18. And then I decided to come to the States in order to continue playing golf with my to play for Campbell University, which I graduated from business administration in 2011. And then I decided that I wanted to turn pro. So after that, I didn't get to play a lot of tournaments right away, but like in 2013, I had a full season, well, almost a full season on the Symetra, and I've been playing professional golf since then.
And so this is your like 5th season on the Symetra Tour?
Kind of. My rookie year was in 2011. Well, that year I graduated and I played Q School, but I just played Q School and that was it. I have played that year an event that they used to hold in Puerto Vallarta, but that year I was like living in North Carolina and I was working at the golf course where the Campbell University is. So basically I didn't really, because I was pro, but I didn't really play any tournaments. So like I kind of like, even though it was my rookie year in paper, like for me wasn't really an experience of playing a full season or anything.
Gotcha.
On 2013, I get the opportunity to play around 10 tournaments on the Symetra. And then last year, I was playing more. I didn't have a status on the Symetra. So I played 2 events, the Battle Creek one and the Tullamore. But other than that, I was doing Suncoast, Canadian Tour, and I was getting ready for Q School. And this year, I've been playing, for the most part, everything on Symetra.
Okay. Yeah, and you played in, I was looking at some of these stats. You've played in 10 tournaments so far, and I think there's been a total of 15. So you've played in a good portion of them. And I noticed you had a really good finish the last tournament that you played in,
Thank
which
you.
was the Firekeepers,
Battle
right?
Creek.
So you had a top 20 finish. So congratulations on
Thank you.
that. Okay, and
Yes.
there's something I definitely want to ask you about, but first let's go over to Brittany and let Brittany kind of catch us up with what's going on with her. What's up, Brittany?
I'm in, like you said, I'm in Tucson. I'm enjoying a week off from the tour. It's been, what you just said, there was 15 tournaments we've already played, and I've played in every one of them except for one.
Right.
And I was actually there that week. I had to withdraw from an injury, but so I'm really cherishing this off week before we get into the last long stretch, I guess. We have 8 tournaments left and only 2 more off weeks, I think. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're right in the thick of things, kind of.
Yeah, so there's 8, I know there's 8 tournaments left, so it's kind of getting to crunch time.
It is. The season's gone by so fast, but still 8 events left, so a couple big purses as well.
Yeah. So before I go too much further, I wanted to let everyone know that you can ask questions of Brittany and Sandy, but the only stream that's working right now, and I'm not sure why, is the YouTube stream. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can post questions in the comments section right below the video. For some reason, it's not working on the Google event page, and I apologize for that. I can't bring up that page and look at it because I'll start getting feedback. So you can, let me just see if I have Twitter up. You can tweet to Ladies Dream Golf, and I will check there. I will check there for questions as well, just to give people the opportunity who don't want to go over to YouTube to ask questions. So Sandy, I'm really dying to ask you about your experience this year. I know that you had a really exciting thing happen. You actually qualified for the U.S. Open this year. And so tell us about that experience of what it was, what you had to do to qualify and how that qualifying went and how you actually landed at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, it worked out pretty funny because this year all the qualifiers were very close to all the tournaments of the Symetra, like the tournament dates. So it was kind of hard to pick where I was gonna be or where should be better to fill it up. So I started, like, I actually originally put my entry fee to qualify on Virginia, but then, like, I figured out that that was Atlanta, and if I was planning to do well, so I'm not gonna have a practice round, and it's 36, so I was like, no. So I kind of like put it in the same course that I played last year, that it was coming home. Even though from Atlanta I had to come home, I decided that I wouldn't play that following event of Symetra, which was gonna be Boston, and I was gonna come play the tournament and have that week off. And so it worked out pretty good that I get to come home. I played that golf course before, and actually 3 years ago, I played not in that golf course, but I played the U.S. Open qualifier as well, and I missed it by 1 shot.
Oh, wow.
And I had to go to a playoff, and I was an alternate, and the whole week was like checking if there was a chance. It was the year that I was in Savannah, and like, I mean, that was so, I kind of had a taste of like, oh my God, I almost like qualified. And I know that it's such a long day and every single shot counts. Like, it's just like, I mean, everything in golf counts, but at the same time, that day is just like, there's not really much room for big errors or something like it, because I mean, it's just 2 spots, and you like last year.
You play 36 holes all in one day, right?
And last year the scores were pretty low here, where in Florida. So I didn't really put myself any number or anything. Like, my goal was just to stay. Plus, I just came back from Symetra, and I felt like I was playing really well, but I didn't stay in the moment every shot. So, like, my only goal was to really give my everything every shot. And like, I had the opportunity that time that qualifier that a good friend of mine caddy for me. I met him in the Greenwood event, and we did a pretty good team. So he was gonna go to Miami, so it worked out pretty good that he could make it for the qualifier. And it was just like, I mean, I'm very comfortable day in the sense like I didn't go ahead of myself. I played pretty solid the whole day, but even though I knew that I could have a chance or I was doing pretty good, I didn't let myself go further. You know, it was the next shot until the last putt. And I had a very I started with a couple birdies, like 4 birdies on the front on the second round, and on the back nine, I just kind of I didn't give myself as much opportunities, and I made great up and downs, and I just like I grinded it, and like I was really proud of myself, like at the end, because I just literally stay present, you know, and I mean it's so easy to say, but really to just don't get
That's
yourself
tough.
get between, especially when it's 36 holes, like
Yeah,
it
that's
was,
cool.
yeah,
Really cool.
it was really nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
And of course, like after that, I was screaming. I was just like, it was so cool. My mom, like when I was little, she used to come to tournaments and stuff. But like now she works and it's harder. And a good friend of mine, a very good supporter too, came to watch. And so they were there with me, and I could share it with them, and they saw me play. So it was just like a very special moment. And after that, well, like it's just kind of like the waiting, the anxiety of like playing finally the tournament. And I mean, it's amazing. It's besides like the golf course was gorgeous, like it was in California in San Martin. You have the whole like the mountains, the vineyard. Like I mean, I walked the fairway the first time. It felt like carpet. Everything's so perfect. It's like the best shape probably I ever played a tournament, and also the toughest because like here it is like making course management is so important. Like I noticed that in the tournaments that we played in other tours or stuff like that. I mean, it's the US Open. You expect it to put them as tough as possible, and a little mistake can really put you in jail when sometimes in other courses you can make it up or make an easy up and down. Here it really punishes you. So it was kind of, tell me.
Was that the first LPGA tournament that you played in?
Yes, it was my first one, and it was the Open, so it was just like amazing. And as
Well,
much
that's a
as I
good way to
wanted to treat
start.
it like, as much as I wanted to treat it like, okay, it's another tournament. It's not another tournament. It's my first one, and it's the US Open.
So
But
did you
it
get to
was
play with any names we might recognize? Who were you paired with?
I was paired. We have the same pairings the first 2 days, and I play with Sue Kim, and I played with her name. She was an amateur. I can remember. I'm pretty bad with her. I can see her face. She's an amateur. She's a really good player, and she was like 15 years old, blonde. But I was gonna tell you, like I played with them on the tournament, and then the practice round, I get to play with Gaby Lopez,
Oh,
which is the
nice.
other Mexican that is in the LPGA, and with Carlota Siganda, and the other practice round I played with two Asian girls. Like yeah, so I mean it was nice, and you know like going there made me realize they don't have an extra arm than me, you know, like they are normal girls, they can hit the ball as same as me, you know, like they don't do anything that I don't feel capable of doing it. Like I feel the same. I didn't feel out of place. No, I loved it. I actually was like, I want to stay here, you know, this is where I want to be. I feel like what really got me is that my game, it has been, I mean, compared to the time that I've been playing golf, I feel like I'm playing really good this year. And I put myself very high expectations. And that whole week, as much, is so important to keep your energy, to save your energy, because the adrenaline, the emotions, it's at the highest level. Like I never
Yeah.
experienced that. And as much as I wanted to kind of shut down, and it wasn't like I was playing 18, 18, 18 every single day. No, I kind of managed my time very well in, okay, this day I'm going to play 9 in practice. But I felt like I left the golf course and I didn't really shut down. You know, as much as I wanted to, and I was with having dinner or doing things, like my mind was still there. Like I am
Yeah.
a very good sleeper no matter where I am, and I didn't sleep well. It was just kind
Mhm.
of like everything was like so tense. And then another thing that what I learned about myself is that I had my same caddy on the side, but instead of like letting him do his work or like listen to his opinion, I was like so stubborn, like no, this is it. And which is like, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to do whatever your gut tells you, but at the same time, when you are in very critical situations, like somebody can make a difference, and it doesn't worth it to risk it too much, because that's when the big numbers comes and stuff like that. So it was a great experience. My whole family came, and I had some
Oh,
friends
that's so
there,
cool.
so it was just a very good week.
Well, that's so cool that you got to do that. And, I know that's
Yeah.
an experience that will always be with you. And I've gotten a couple of tweets here that I want to share. First of all, so Annette Walker, who is a good friend of Ladies Dream Golf, is actually watching from Australia. Wow, Annette, what time
Ooh.
is it there? And she wants to know what time, when you guys are coming to Australia. Do you guys have any plans to go to Australia? Either one of you?
Next year for the Honda.
There you
Oh, that's true.
go.
No,
I like
yeah,
to
and
hear you
I heard
speak.
that the tour is pretty cool.
And also, our good friend Allie White is watching, and
Oh, that's
she
Valley.
went to the Open. I don't know how many years ago. Was it 2 years ago, Allie? I can't remember. Um, but she said, "Proud of you guys. See everyone in Decatur." So, so anyway, so Brittany, we need to hear from you a little bit.
I'm waiting.
Sandy,
I'm
thank you
here.
so much for sharing that story. That I just can't even imagine how cool that would have been. I'm so glad you got that opportunity.
Yeah.
And
no, thank
so,
you.
Brittany, are you a stats person at all?
I love numbers and I do love stats, and I'm like, math was my favorite subject in school, but it's also my downfall in golf. So,
Well,
um,
I was looking over your stats, and so do you ever look at your own stats?
not as a whole. We keep them every round. We
Yeah.
have a stat card, and at the end of the day, I'll add it up, and I'm like, okay, this is what I was good at and what I need to go work on. But no, not as a whole. But
So I was looking at your stats just from the Symetra Tour page.
mhm.
Do you know what your best stat is, where you rank the highest?
um, maybe greens and regulation.
Yes. You
Yeah,
are number
Hmm?
10
yeah,
in
I've had a lot of greens
Yeah.
this year.
wow. I mean that's super impressive. And then
Yeah,
your next best stat, and I love this one. Your next best stat is your score. Wait, is that right? No, no. Rounds under par.
really.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You are number 22 in
those are
rounds
cool
under
stats.
par.
Yeah, I
You
don't.
have,
Very
yeah, you have
nice.
15 rounds under par, and you've played in 14 tournaments.
Okay, that's
So
pretty good.
Huh?
that's pretty good. And I also
Yeah,
noticed
that's
a
pretty good.
trend that you've played in 14 tournaments, but in the last seven, you've had four top tens.
Yeah, I've started. I
Ooh.
kind of hit a little.
So tell us what's going on. What's clicking right now?
I don't know. Nothing really. What's funny is so that was the last seven. So the previous eight, I actually felt the same way as I did these last seven.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's just I don't know. It's like a couple putts here or there. You make a long putt or make a really good par putt, and it kind of keeps your round going. It's just things have kind of fallen into place the last I'd say the last half of the season. But actually, the first half of the season, I kind of felt the same way. It's just things weren't really
Yeah.
clicking or coming together.
Well, and it's not like you played badly the first part of the season because you've only had 2 cuts the whole season.
Yeah, right.
You've been right in there.
Yeah, no,
So,
I felt good all season. I mean, it's been fun as of late to be in contention. It's kind of it's a ton more fun when you go into Sunday and you have a chance.
yeah.
So I've definitely been having more fun the second half, but um, yeah, not really doing anything too differently. Just kind of we're doing the same things with my coach that we talk about, and um, things are clicking a little bit better.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. I know that you kind of coming into the last third of the season because you're about 2/3 through and you have a third left. I know that you're kind of, I mean, where you are on the money list is pretty important in terms of
Sure.
um, your chances to get on the LPGA this season or what your status for next year is going to be.
Hmm.
And so how much are you thinking about that? And kind of do you strategize around that, or where are you trying to land, or are you just really just going out there and playing your best golf?
Yeah, I don't think it does you any service. So like last year, I was very close, kind of all season, to really making a jump into the top 10, and I really looked at the money list a lot, and I kind of studied it more than I probably should have, and it didn't serve me, instead of if I had just kind of kept my nose to the grindstone and just went about my business. And like Sandy said, when she was talking about giving everything in each shot and staying present, it sounds so simple. But when she was talking, I'm sitting here and I'm like, that is just such a big accomplishment because it's so difficult to do. And it's even more difficult. I mean, that was one day of 36 holes, which is relentless. But we have 8 more tournaments. That's a minimum of 24 rounds, each shot. And it's too difficult to look at the money list overall and try and figure that out. Um, you really have to just take each shot and give everything you can in each shot and let everything fall where it falls at the end of the year. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's not to say that I'm not. Of course, I know where my position is on the money list. I know what it would realistically take to jump into the top 10. I mean, I kind of know all that, but it's like you put it in the back of your mind, and then on the forefront is just, okay, what is my goal today? What is my, goal on this shot, and go from there.
Yeah. What about you, Sandy? Kind of how are you approaching the last part of the season, and are you going to be able to play pretty much all of the tournaments, or are you still trying to kind of figure out how you're going to get to the tournaments? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I decided that I'm gonna play the next following two, Decatur and Milwaukee. And then it's just like, because I'm looking at the calendar and going to Garden City, and those ones are too far from me. Like, I actually drove all the way to well, to the East Coast. Like, I've been driving everything, and just like, and I still have my most of my stuff over there. Even the car is there. But like, you just like looking at the cost and everything, like it was too much for me to go to Kansas City and stuff. So I'm gonna focus on this second in the next couple two, and then I'm gonna come home and work with my trainer and my coach, and maybe I'm gonna do a tournament from Suncoast in between to get ready for the last tournaments coming here into Florida from the Symetra. But at the same time as Brittany, I mean, it's kind of like we know what it makes a difference of having a good week, in what sense it will, like, to be honest, for me, I feel my goal right now is to move as possible as far as I can go in Q school. Like right now, even a win, it's not gonna guarantee me having my card for the rest of the. So it doesn't guarantee me to get my card for the LPGA next year. Like like the money list is so high. Like the number one is 100,000 already. I feel like it's it's not. I'm not saying it's impossible, but like my goal is to go as far as possible to for Q school. So I'm gonna focus on the next two tournaments, and then I'm gonna come home and play in between, but probably something more around here, and get ready for the last couple events of Symetra and Q School. That's what I'm gonna focus on. But yeah, like I don't see much a point of looking into numbers too, because at the end of the day, you have to take care of business every time you are there and every shot.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those who are listening that don't really know too much about Q School, I'm not an expert here, but I know that Q School happens at the end of the season. Well, actually, stage 1 starts in August, but I think both of you guys would be exempt into stage 2, correct? So stage.
So far, yes, but it could be actually, I don't know Brittany's ranking right now, but like she might be even for third one right now. I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah.
number is she.
I think, I mean, that doesn't, that to get exempt in the final stage, you have to be top 25, 11 through 25 on the money list.
So you're
11 to 30, no?
Yeah, I mean, it goes down to 30 because it skips like the players that are already exempt in the final stage, so it ends up kind of going down to 30.
right, and there's actually only one more tournament before they kind of draw the line, right? It's after the Decatur tournament.
No. So the
I thought it was
line,
after Milwaukee.
that's for first stage. That's for first stage, but for final stage, it's all
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
both
exactly.
of you. So are you
Yeah.
both planning on going to Q School? I mean,
Yes.
I mean, in a way, it seems like, just from what I've looked at, it's kind of your only really, if you're not way up there on the money list, it's kind of your only guarantee to get status for, well, it's your only chance to get onto the LPGA if you're not in the top 20 on the money list. And it's the best way to get status on the Symetra Tour for next year. So anyway, so that starts in August, and I know that stage 3 is late in the year, like in December.
Yeah,
November,
it's like first week of December.
So
November 28th to December 4th.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring up another question. This came from YouTube. And Brittany and Sandy, how do you feel about the vastly different reactions to Olympic golf from female and male professionals? Have you guys had a chance to follow all that?
Yeah, this has been a hot topic on even on our tour. It makes sense to me. It completely makes sense. You know, the men, it's a Ryder Cup year, so that's kind of on their mind. They play for a lot of money for the FedEx Cup, so they have all these other things going on in their tour, and that's kind of where their attention lies. And it just, whether you agree with it or not, it just makes sense for them. The women, this is kind of a big deal. We're more of a global tour. You know, if you look at the two fields, the women versus the men, the women's field's much stronger than the men, so it's going to be actually like a very strong tournament. There's nothing going on during the schedule right now for LPGA. I mean, I think it's cool. I think the women look at it, they take it more seriously. They take more pride in it, representing their countries, and so I think it's great. I think overall, I just think it makes sense. The men, it makes sense that their attention kind of lies where it does, and the women, I think it's cool that they have a little bit more pride and they're going for it.
Yeah, and did the LPGA probably actually even clear the schedule for the Olympics?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have, like, the International Crown is kind of, you know, it's obviously not the Olympics, but it falls under that same category. So because of the global tour that Mike Wan, the commissioner, tries to push, the Olympics just kind of fits right into that.
Yeah, do you have anything to add to that, Sandy?
No, I totally agree, and at the same time, I mean, it's history that golf is introduced it. So, like, if I had the opportunity to play it, of course I will go. Like, regardless of, you know, there's so many issues on the country and the Zika and so many things going on, but I think it's just, like, awesome that they have the opportunity to be there and play it. And I agree with both things about why women are like more, like nobody, I haven't actually heard of anybody from the women that withdrew, that they are not playing. Just the men are kind of the ones that are
I
not.
think there was, gosh, I hope I don't get this wrong, but wasn't it Leanne Pace
Yeah, she's the only one that withdrew.
who
There's just
withdrew?
one.
Okay.
So other than that, I didn't hear of anybody withdrawing, and
No,
I
but we were
was
still pretty
excited.
strong.
I was actually really excited that Jarena Miller made it in.
Yeah,
So she barely made it in on the number that allowed 3 players from the United States
yeah.
to go because she was ranked 15. So she's from New Mexico, so she's
Yeah.
always been kind of my favorite player. So let's see. It's we're almost getting to 8:30, so I don't want to keep Sandy up way too late. One thing I wanted to mention is I am going to be traveling to Decatur next week. I'm really excited about that because I'm going to go and watch both Brittany and Sandy play, and I'm going to track Allie down as well. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. And if anybody out there is going to be at the tournament, please let us know because we'd like to have a little Ladies Dream Golf get-together. So if any of you Ladies Dream golfers are going to be in Decatur next week, please let me know, and we'll be sure and try to catch up with you. And let's see, there was something else I wanted to say about that, but so I mean, this is this is my own problem, but I had knee surgery 2 weeks ago, and it was unplanned knee surgery, and so. I would normally be following you guys around 18 holes. I'd be trekking around that whole course, making sure that I'm seeing all of you play every hole. But unfortunately, I'm going to be a little bit restricted, but I'm going to do my best to see as much.
Oh, come on, Kelly. I'm just kidding. No, thank you for coming. That would be great to meet you finally in person.
Yeah, and Brittany said she's going to try to get me a ride on the cart.
Yeah, you can ride with the scorers, no problem.
So we'll figure it out, and so I'm really, really looking forward to meeting you guys. And well, I've met Brittany before, but I'm looking forward to seeing Brittany again and meeting Sandy and meeting Allie. So it's going to be really, really looking forward to that. So let me just check Twitter one more time, and see if we have any questions. I don't think we do. So Brittany, thank you for cutting your practice session short to join in. Of course. And Sandy, thank you for joining 2 hours early. And because at least I knew you were going to be there on time. I didn't have to worry about you. And so Daryl, you were not the only one 2 hours early for the Hangouts. Sandy was early too.
That's funny.
But we all got it together, and it actually stayed up for half an hour.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Okay, so I guess we'll sign off, and I'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good. Safe travels.
Thank you, Kelly. Safe
Okay.
travels, yes.
See you later.
Bye-bye.